the development of the second sanctuary.
Then moved forward to building this last half of the sanctuary that has been going on for the last 10 years.
I had absolutely no idea how large it was going to become or the vision that was behind it.
And Richard's remarkable resilience is worthy of an epic hero, says longtime friend Mark Carpo.
About 14 years ago, I found that I was very interested in the character of Don Quixote. And I realized that what I loved were his characteristics. He has no business doing what he's doing, but he is determined to do it anyway. He doesn't care if anybody tells him that he's crazy and he's an old man. He intends to do something amazing and impossible. And I realize that there are a lot of people who have those characteristics. We call them quixotics.
This piece of property consists of 8 acres. I had intended on keeping it in a 2-acre plot in order to create boundaries for myself, but I broke all of the rules and broke all the boundaries.
They have no formal training as artists. They are extremely audacious. They are obsessive, but they're also playful, which as a psychologist I can tell you is not a trait you find in obsessives very much. That's quite unusual. But they feel it's perfectly natural for them to spend 10 to 30 years creating art.
I seem to remember thinking that it would just be a typical landscaping job, but slowly as it progressed, I realized that this vision was a lot larger than I had anticipated.
Despite the titanic amount of work involved in creating and maintaining this sanctuary, Richard has never thought of giving up, even in the most difficult times.
I find the time because I live here. I find the time because I work here. I find the time because I have a passion for what I do and am willing to follow that passion, sometimes blindly.
After the break, how to breathe life into stone.
You get to see, again, this sort of teamwork as they come together and impressive feats of engineering as they make these stones do what is truly nothing less than magic.
In 20 years, Richard Richardson has not taken a single day off. He works every day to make the Three Sisters Sanctuary a place of wonder.
Even right now, as I take on projects in the sanctuary, I get up in the morning, I live by myself, I have a cup of coffee, and I run out to the area I'm working in.
Every morning, a new challenge awaits him.
I watch the sun rise, and I stand there and I look at it and I think, it's there, it's coming together. The life of it is springing to life.
And Richard is not the only one who takes pleasure in seeing his sanctuary transform.
Watching your dad work with a bunch of other people's with machinery and rocks and artistic, creative spirit is out of this world. It is just too much fun.
He comes up with ideas. He'll, out of nowhere, he'll come up and he'll say, "Can we do this?" Yeah, okay. You know, you got to think about it for a second, and when you think about it, you can do it.
Yeah, you can see it stood up much better.
Sometimes it's like watching them dance, like when they set the tall vertical stones and they're almost like ballerinas as they get them like set just so, and then everyone walks away and is amazed to see it happen.
We've set over 250 stones And out of 250 stones, we've probably had no more than 5 in 10 years that have fallen.
Over the years, Michael Sampson became a key collaborator, hugely instrumental in the creation of the sanctuaries.
Mike, that tree on the end works so beautifully with these, you know, like it really feels like it belongs right there. I think at first Mike was just here because he was being paid to be here, but he now has an appreciation for the stone, he has an eye for it, and he wants to see it work.
I do have to share the same love affair for these rocks because, I mean, they're all here. To dig these up and to replace them, to bring them up on top of the ground instead of being buried, it's incredible. I mean, you can sit there and look at some of these and actually see them. Some of these rocks have names.
The stone is mud sediments at the bottom of an ocean that are 480 to 450 million years old. And I had a long time trying to wrap my head around that.
We know these rocks, I mean, have the same love affair, yeah. They're great. They're really, really great.
The majority of what our stone is used for is outside landscaping, for patios, walls. Some people use it for fireplaces inside and outside of the house. We've had quite a few projects where people have had us cut the stone with chainsaws to make different shapes for hearths or outside art.
Extracting these huge stones from the earth is one thing. Placing them is another. It is at this level that the artist and the excavator work as a team.
Both Mike and I consider ourselves matchmakers to the stones. When we pick stones, they have to be compatible. It's very important to us to know that this stone and this stone feel right together, that we've chosen the side that is going to be seen from either side, how you're going to look at them.
Some stones will talk to you. They'll actually physically talk to you and tell you that I don't want to be stood up.
Putting up the stones has actually become easier. In the beginning, it was much more difficult. We did not have the machinery we do today, but it got done. And thankfully, everybody has all their hands and their feet and fingers.
We fought with a few of them 2 hours, try to get that thing to stand up, and it's not gonna. Take the stone, toss it off the side, find something different to do.
You get to see, again, this sort of teamwork as they come together and really, as far as I'm concerned, impressive feats of engineering as they make these stones do what is truly nothing less than magic.
Magic, or simply the beauty of art. Who knows? Everyone agrees that the arrangement of the stones compels an emotional reaction.
People come here and they are moved by the stone. They are moved by the placement of the stones. They are moved by the way it flows.
At the end of the day, what's created is incredible. But to take it out of his mind, put it into my mind, and put it onto paper, put it out here like this, the feeling is incredible. I mean, because we're moving 6,000-pound rocks and standing these things up, which nature never made these things to stand up. We're making them stand up.
Another successful day in the world of Richard Richardson and Mike Sampson.
That's about what it is.
The man, the myth, the legend, marvelous Mike Sampson.
After the break, stones that soothe the soul.
Area we're about to enter into, I had built it before my daughter had passed away. I did not know why I was building it. It was the first time I had a calling. Love that bell.
A visit to the Three Sisters Sanctuary with its creator is like a journey into the past, into his life. Here, the stones tell a story.
As I came into the sanctuary, I built this structure right here, and it was the first time that I experimented with creating a theme, stones and spears that are reaching out to the sky in a circle that symbolize the energy that our lifetime takes.
To describe the Three Sisters Sanctuary in one sentence feels like a nearly impossible task. I find myself frequently saying that if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then even a picture doesn't quite capture this experience. So I don't think I would be doing the space justice if I were to try and do that. But all I can say is that it truly is a space of inspired art and healing love.
What you see in here is the wishing dragon, and all of those ribbons are for when people come to visit the sanctuary. They're given an opportunity to leave a wish behind.
You know, in America, we have what we call a roadside attraction. And especially with the Tin Man standing outside the stove shop, it's so extraordinary. Nobody's ever seen anything like this.
As we walk through here, one of my favorite sculptures, again, has to do with water and the symbolism of water and the beauty of women and the way they're shaped. Ooh. I really love this piece. I love her. I love how she just sits over the garden, gently says nothing, but has great meaning.
Some arrangements simply prompt reflection, even inner peace.
There are 44 stones to make up this infinity circle. And inside of this infinity circle in the center are these two large quartz. They give and they take energy. And you close your eyes, you will immediately feel the tingling on both sides of your fingertips as the energy between these two stones pass through your fingers. The tree house with this is earth, fire, water, birch man in the background. I call it a tree house, but I'm afraid of heights, so I decided to build it on the ground. This is why I can use it. This is my outdoor dining room over here. It's got a wonderful French-Canadian feel, like New Orleans, you know, when you look at the fretwork there, you know, it's got all of that going for it. To the right of it and to the left of it are the windows into my gardens. My dear mother came to visit me. She looked at this stone and she said to me, "I see a wolf in that stone." And I didn't know what to say about it because I don't see the wolf. But I kind of find it exciting that at 84 she could see a wolf in there. These grasses are still growing. This type of grass is going to grow to be another 2 feet. I find them to be incredibly sensual, and I find them to be romantic. I find them to be nature's gift to us when they sing to you.
Visionary environments are very paradoxical. Every one is completely unique. They're utterly idiosyncratic, like nothing else on Earth. And yet, all of these people, without knowing anything about each other, are all using pretty similar materials. They take this stuff that we call trash, and they turn it into treasure.
And right here is one of my favorite projects that I did, which was building the dragon and the dragon's den. And when you have a fire here in this fire pit, the smoke comes up his mouth and bellows out his mouth. So it's a wonderful, wonderful light.
Anyone who creates an environment like this is saying, I don't care who you think I am an artist. I create art.
And the pièce de résistance?
Area we're about to enter into, I had built it before my daughter had passed away. And I did not know why I was building it. It was the first time I had a calling where I felt a need to build something without logic and without reason. And my eldest daughter, Tina Marie, took me by the hand and she took me into this room and she says, "Dad," she goes, "there's something really wonderful happening in your life. I really love what you've done here and I really want you to continue to explore your creativity. And I think you're at a point in your life where there might be a transition that's coming. Don't run from it, embrace it." And she passed away 30 days later. And all of a sudden I understood why I had built this room. And that was that it was to be the resting place for my daughter.
After the break, a sanctuary that also celebrates life.
I lived out a dream today. You know, the dream was art, being in my installation, music, and the gift of my community, a place I love with all of my heart.
The Three Sisters Sanctuary has enabled Richardson to survive the most painful of ordeals.
When my father started building the sanctuary, it was following the loss of his brother. So we had a sense that it was, you know, within our family being used for sort of our own healing and our own grief and our own process. And that continued for a while. And when 10 years later, Tina passed, it sort of really brought a lot of things into focus and made this project very clear that it was truly a space for not only our family, but for other families and other people to heal and process grief.
The creator of the Three Sisters Sanctuary now wants to give back to his community. Today, we officially celebrate the 20th anniversary of the sanctuary. All Richardson's neighbors and friends are invited.
Woo, 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 woo. It doesn't get any better than that, and that's how I feel about it. It's like I live in my art, I live among artists, I live in a community that overwhelms me with love.
Celebrating 20 years of doing anything is a huge accomplishment, let alone